Hey there! Ever had a brilliant idea and wondered why so many others, even with great ideas, just fail? It's usually not because the product was bad or the founder was lazy. Nope. There's this hidden reason, a kind of silent killer that can take down a business before it even gets started. And today, we're going to drag it out into the light.
Just let that sink in for a second. You can pour all your time, your energy, your passion into creating something incredible, and it can still just completely fall flat. It's a tough pill to swallow for sure, but really getting this is the absolute first step to making sure it doesn't happen to you.
So, why, right? Why does that happen? If it's not about how cool the product is or how many all-nighters you pull, then what in the world is the deciding factor? Well, that's the big mystery we're going to solve right now.
So let's get right into it and unmask what our source material calls the business silent killer. This is that invisible reason that stops most new projects dead in their tracks.
You know, when a business fails, we tend to hear about the obvious stuff, right? Things like, oh, the execution was clumsy, or their marketing was terrible, or maybe even they just didn't try hard enough. But honestly, those are usually just symptoms. They're the tip of the iceberg. The real problem, the thing that actually sinks the ship, is almost always hiding just below the surface.
And here it is, the single biggest reason for failure: no demand. It's so simple, it's almost brutal. If nobody actually wants the thing you've built, then nothing else you do matters. Your great marketing, your perfect code, it's all for nothing. No demand means no customers. And no customers, well, that means no business. It's the foundation of the whole thing, and if it's not there, the entire structure is going to collapse.
So, what do we actually mean by demand? It's not just people saying, oh, hey, that's a neat idea, or yeah, that looks cool. That's just talk. Real demand is action. It's when a person wants something so badly that they are willing to take a concrete step. They'll pull out their credit card, they'll subscribe, they'll sign up. It's a real commitment, not just a casual compliment. And this brings us to a really crucial idea. See, you don't get to decide if your idea is good. There's only one judge in this game, and its decision is final. And that judge, the market, is brutally honest. It doesn't care one bit how many hours you worked, it's not impressed by your passion, and you definitely don't get extra credit for having good intentions. The market only cares about one thing and one thing only.
This quote nails it. This is the iron law of the market. It rewards value, not effort. Just think about it for a second. A super simple little app that solves a really annoying common problem can become a massive success. Meanwhile, a brilliant, complex piece of software that nobody actually needs is, in the eyes of the market, completely and utterly worthless.
Okay, so the big question is, how do you avoid this trap? How can you actually test for demand before you sink all your time, energy, and money into an idea? That's what we're going to cover next. Think of this as a simple toolkit for vetting any idea you have.
This little checklist right here is your first line of defense, so let's run through it. First, is the problem important? Are you solving what they call a hair-on-fire problem, or is it just a tiny annoyance? Second, how many people actually have this problem? Is the market big enough? Third, and this one is huge, are people already paying to solve this problem? If the answer is yes, that is a fantastic sign. Fourth, can your target customers actually afford your solution? And finally, how urgent is it? Do they need to solve this thing right now? Just being honest with yourself about these 5 questions can save you from a world of hurt down the road.
Now this slide shows a classic trap that so many people fall into. It's so tempting to say your idea is for everyone. But when you try to speak to everyone, you usually end up connecting with no one. Just look at the difference here. Fitness for everyone. What does that even mean? It's way too vague. But fitness for busy professionals? Boom. That instantly speaks to a specific person with a specific problem. That's where the power is, in that focus.
So what this all boils down to is a choice, really. A choice between 2 very different ways of approaching a new idea. The question is, are you going to be a guesser or are you going to be a thinker?
Let's just compare these 2 paths for a second. Over on the left, you've got the guesser. This person has an idea, they rush off to build it, and then they cross their fingers and hope people show up. They're running on pure assumption, which is just incredibly risky. But over on the right, you have the thinker. They start by studying demand. They test and validate their ideas, they gather actual evidence, and only then do they start building. It's a methodical, scientific approach, and it just massively boosts your chances of success.
And here's another huge myth that the thinker understands. Most people see competition and they think, oh no, bad news, and they run in the other direction. But actually, having zero competition can be a huge red flag. It might just mean that nobody wants this thing. Healthy competition, on the other hand, is a great sign. It's an opportunity. It proves that a market is out there and that people are already willing to pay. Now you just have to come in and do it better or different.
Okay, so let's bring all this home. Let's boil it all down into one final, super practical takeaway. This is the core principle that really separates the ideas that work from the ones that were doomed from the start. It's this simple mantra right here. Test, then build. Not the other way around. Seriously, don't spend months or even years of your life building something based on a guess. You have to validate the idea first. Prove that the demand is real, and then, only then, do you earn the right to build. And look, testing doesn't have to be this big, complicated, expensive process. It can be as simple as just talking to your potential customers. Or even better, you could set up a simple web page and offer pre-orders to see if people will actually commit with their wallets. Your goal here isn't to get compliments. Your goal is to get cold, hard proof that people want what you're planning to offer.
And that brings us to the ultimate reality check. The one question you have to ask yourself about any new idea. If you could magically have your finished product ready to go today, right now, and you offered it to someone, would they actually pull out their wallet and pay you for it? If you have to hesitate for even a second, you haven't proven demand yet. And answering that one question honestly is the single best way to avoid that silent killer and instead build something that people actually want.